Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by other historians, but mainly things we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information come from the Smart Device application, Today in History, What Happened Today in History, the historical calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, the music done by Carrera, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar in the description below. Anyway, I am Xander, and you are you. Today is Wednesday, aka Wednesday, aka Wednesday, March 15th, 2023. So, let's jump into the history today, shall we? Starting us off with the assassination of Julius Caesar in 44 BC. Julius Caesar was stabbed to death by Brutus, Cassius, and several other Roman senators on the Ides of March in Rome. Alright, so, yep, 37 times in the chest. Carl, that kills people! We're going to move on up to 351. Constantius II elevated his cousin Gallius to Caesar and put him in charge of the eastern part of the Roman Empire. Alright, so, sent him to Constantinople, it sounds like. Then we're going to move on up to 1493. Christopher Columbus returned to Spain after his first voyage to the New World. Alright. There's a lot of controversy and wibble wobble facts, and around all that. Whether or not people knew the Earth was round back then, which I believe they did, according to several sources. They sent Christopher Columbus out there to essentially die because he wouldn't shut up, and he kept going to various other countries. He went to Italy, Spain, France. I think he went to England. I'm not sure, but he kept going places like, I want to go exploring. I want to go exploring. Fine. Here's some 3 ships. Piss off. Anyway, 1580, Spanish King Philip II put a $25,000 gold coin on the head of Prince William of Orange. So 25,000 gold coin, like hit or whatever. I can't think of the word right now. Hit, I guess. On the head of Prince William of Orange. So yeah, he's trying to kill him. Moving on up to 1672, King Charles II of England enacted the Declaration of Indulgence in an unsuccessful attempt to extend religious liberty to Protestant nonconformists and Roman Catholics in his realms. Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate. Throughout a lot of history, there's been a lot of religious animosity and everything, Ooh, what is this? Why is this not highlighted? 1729, Sister Saint Stanislas Hatchard, the first American nun, took her vows in New Orleans. Alright, so the first nun. Cool. 1778, Nootka Sound, Vancouver Island, was discovered by Captain James Cook. Yeah, this guy discovering all sorts of things. 1781, Battle of Guilford Courthouse. British troops under Cornwallis defeated American troops, but their heavy losses led to ceding of territory and a strategic loss. Alright. So, good old British still trying to fight us. 1783, in an emotional speech in Newborough, New York, George Washington asked his officers not to support the Newburgh conspiracy. The plea is successful, and he threatened a coup d'etat never to take place. Or the threatened coup d'etat never took place. So the Newborough conspiracy. Let's check that out. I think we looked at that last year. Let's check it out. It was a failed apparent threat by leaders of the Continental Army in March of 1783 at the end of the American Revolution. The Army's commander, George Washington, successfully calmed the soldiers and helped back pay. Yeah, there was a lot of problems. Couldn't pay the soldiers, near the end of the war, it was basically, hey, you're fighting the good fight for moral reasons. It's like, morals doesn't put bread on the table, bro. So, it was rough. So, 1812, first Russian settlement in California at Russian River. Russian River. Let's see. Let's check this out. Russian River, California. Right there. Perfect. Let's see. Where is that? Let's check it out, actually. Open up the maps. Oh, it's all the way up there. Okay. The Russian River. Why can't I see it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, along the 101. So, I think I've driven past this river a couple times in my life. That's pretty cool. Huh. Yeah, it looks like you can go over here and park, and then just... Actually, I don't think that's a parking station. That looks like a storage yard for maybe maintenance and such. Anyway, let's move on up here. 1906, Britain's Henry Rolls, Charles Royce, and Claude Johnson formalized their existing partnership as Rolls-Royce Limited. Happy birthday, Rolls-Royce. I was thinking about this the other day. Like, I was saying, out here in Southern California, you see a lot of supercars, Lamborghinis, Rolls-Royce. Well, not supercars, but, expensive vehicles, stuff like that. And I'm sitting here, it reminded me of a quote I heard a long time ago, how somebody was making fun of Lamborghini for not having any commercials. It's like, they said something along the lines of, our target audience are not the type of people to watch TV. So, that says volumes about, their target audience there. 1908, first performance of Maurice Ravel's Rhapsody Espagnole. Okay, Espagnole. Alright, I don't know how to pronounce that. 1912, the legendary pitcher Cy Young retired from baseball with 511 to 315 win-loss record. Well, that's a good record. 5-3, essentially. 1913, U.S. presidential press conference held by Woodrow... the first U.S. presidential press conference occurred, held by Woodrow Wilson. Yeah, I don't like this guy at all. Yeah, he's the one who signed in the IRS, the Federal Reserve, and all of that stuff. 1913, Cleveland established the first small claims court. Alright. So I wonder if that's the first small claims court for Cleveland, or the first small claims court in the U.S., or anywhere. So, I'm going to provide that as a challenge to the viewers. Which type of small claims court is this? The first one ever? The first one in the U.S.? The first one in the Western Hemisphere? Which one? I don't know much about the history of law. So, got the abdication of Nicholas II in 1917. Nicholas II, the last Russian Tsar, abdicated and nominated his brother Grand Duke Michael to succeed him. Old style was March 2nd. Alright. We also have, 1922, the first Southern radio station began, WSB in Atlanta, Georgia. And, of course, 1922 being the year of the radio. If anybody wants to do the challenge, we did every 1922 article in an extravaganza thing we did on New Year's Eve last year. It was a 10-hour long video. It was a live stream. So that's something I'm probably never going to do again. Moving on up to 1923, Vladimir Lenin suffered his third stroke. Ooh, that's not good. That's too many strokes, man. Who's petting Lenin? Leave him alone. 1928, Benito Mussolini modified Italy electoral system, abolished the right to choose. What? Well, he did invent fascism, so yeah. Got some cricket history here. 1935, brilliant batsman George Headley steered West Indies to an innings victory over England in fourth cricket test at Kingston, Jamaica, with a patient unbeaten 270. Man, once again, I wish I knew what it was that I was reading. So. 1939, Adolf Hitler summoned Czech President Emil Hácha to a meeting in Berlin and informed him of the impending attack by Germany. Hácha suffered a heart attack and later capitulated. Germany occupied and annexed Czechoslovakia, reneging on the Munich Agreement. Ah, man. Can you imagine, being summoned in, oh, yeah, I'm going to take over your country. You better surrender. What? Hitler, not a good guy at all. Oh. Speaking of bad people, here we go. In 1940, Hermann Göring said 100 to 200 church bells were enough for Germany. Smelt the rest. Wow. So you're gonna limit church bells? That's not cool. 1945, 17th Academy Awards. Going My Way, Bing Crosby and Ingrid Bregman won. Alright. We got an agreement of interest in 1946. British Prime Minister Clemente Attlee agreed with India's right to independence. I agree with that, yeah. Got some film and TV history here. In 1948, Sir Lawrence Oliver on the cover of Life magazine. Huh. Alright. 1949, cricket's master batsman Don Bradman, this guy again, received his knighthood from the Governor-General of Australia, the Aussie Hon W.J. McKinnell, at the investiture in Queen's Hall, Parliament House, Melbourne. Ah, crikey. 1953, LPGA Title Holders Championship Women's Golf at Augusta Country Club. Patty Berg won her 5th title holders title by 9 strokes from Betsy Rowles. Alright. CBS Morning Show in 1954 premiered with Walter Cronkite and Jack Parr. Alright. Good old Walter Cronkite. Got some pro wrestling in 1956. Whipper Billy Watson defeated Lou Thesz in Toronto to become NWA Wrestling Champion. That's the National Wrestling Alliance, not with Attitude. That's a different NWA. That's a, you know what? That makes me wonder, like, why doesn't the wrestling, system, sue that rap, group, like, well, then again, the wrestling, the wrestling organization isn't a sue-happy organization, unlike the what was it, the WWF, the World Wildlife Foundation, when they sued the World Wrestling Federation, because I confuse pandas with people hitting themselves with chairs all the time. There is no distinction between those two vastly different organizations. Oh, that lawsuit was so justified. Petty pieces of crap. 1958, Oscar Robertson of Cincinnati Royals scored a NBA Midwest Region record 56-point game. All right. Got a music premiere in 1962. Richard Rodgers' musical drama No Strings, starring Deanna Carl and Richard Kiley, opened at the 54th Street Theater, later transferring to the Broadhurst in New York. Ran for 580 performances and won 3 Tony Awards. Nice. Got some more sports history in 1962. Wilt Chamberlain was the first to score 4,000 points in an NBA season. Dang. That's a lot of points. Got some Grammy Awards. The 8th Grammy Awards in 1966. Taste of Honey, Tom James, Frank Sinatra, and Barbra Streisand won. Alright. Also got an event of interest in 1968. British Foreign Secretary George Brown resigned after having a drunken row with Prime Minister Harold Wilson. What's a drunken row? Like a fight? Or did they get into a canoe? Let's see. Let's check this out. Drunken row. Row is a British word for argument/fight. So, okay, that's, yeah, right there. 1968, Life magazine called Jimi Hendrix the most spectacular guitarist in the world. You're damn right he is. Or he was at the time. He probably still is. I don't know. No, but he was really good. So, got a film premiere here. 1972, The Godfather, based on the book by Mario Puzo, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, and starring Marlon Brando and Al Pacino, premiered in New York City, later received the Academy Awards Best Picture in 1973. And yet again, another movie I have yet to see. What a surprise. So, however, I did see a movie recently, and I forgot what it was already, but it was a movie I've been wanting to see, and I think it's one that recently came out. Man, I have a bad memory. Got an NHL record, 1979, Isles Brians Trottier's 5th career hat trick. Alright. Moving on up to 1984, got the 10th People's Choice Awards. Clint Eastwood, Burt Reynolds, and Meryl Streep win with motion picture. And Tom Selleck, Linda Evans won with TV. Okay. And I don't have So in here with me today, or anybody else to help me out and figure out what, if it was a spaghetti western or the military movies that apparently Eastwood starred in that I didn't know about until a couple days ago. And what shows were these guys in? So let's move on up. We got a boxing title fight in 1985. Larry Holmes technically knocks out David Bay in 10 for heavyweight boxing title. Dang. We also got the Rodney King riots, 1991. 4 officers of the LAPD, the Los Angeles Police Department, were charged with excessive force over the beating of Rodney King. Yeah, they were, and, those riots actually were justified. So, unlike one that happened, up in 3 years ago with a substance abuser. Anyway, 1994, we got the 8th Soul Train Music Awards. Tony Braxton, Whitney Houston won. All right. Got some more music history. 1998, revival of John Kander and Fred Ebb's Cabaret, starring Alan Cumming and Natasha Richardson, opened at Club Expo Theater in New York City. Ran for 2,377 performances and won 4 Tony Awards. That's what I'm talking about. That's a lot of performances right there. That is holy crap, dude. 2,377? Like, if they do one performance, you know what? 365, let's be times 2. So that equals 730. So let's be very generous and say that they're doing 2 shows every day all year round. So how would I do that math? So 730, so keep that in mind. So 2,377 divided by 730, right? equals 3.25 years. That's years straight, 2 times every single day to get up to around, that number. That is insane. Going to move on up to 1999. We got the 14th Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees: Billy Joel, Curtis Mayfield, Paul McCartney, Del Shannon, Dusty Springfield, Bruce Springsteen, the Staples Singers, Charles Brown, Bob Wills and his Texas Playboys, and George Martin were put into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. All right. We got an event of interest in 2003. Hu Jintao became president of the People's Republic of China. All right. Back to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The 19th Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees in 2004 included Jackson Browne, The Dells, George Harrison, Prince, Bob Seger, Traffic, ZZ Top, and John Wayner. All right. Good old ZZ Top. I love them in Back to the Future Part 2. 2010, 25th Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees. Actually, I think that was Part 3. Yeah, Back to the Future Part 3. Got the 25th Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees: ABBA, Genesis, Jimmy Cliff, The Hollies, The Stooges, David Geffen, Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil, Ellie Greenrich and Jeff Barry, Jesse Stone, Mort Schumann, and Otis Blackwell. It's a lot of people. We got an album release 2013. Justin Timberlake released his third studio album, The 2020 Experience, 2013 Billboard Album of the Year. Wow, what was he, coming back in time? 3 years? 2020 Experience is not something I'd ever want to live through again. 2013 as well. Li Keqiang assumed office as the 7th Premier of the People's Republic of China. All right. Got an election of interest. Got the Dutch elections 2017. Prime Minister Mark Rutte's center-right VVD party won 33 seats versus against 20 for the right-wing Geert Wilders Party of Freedom. Huh. Got some fashion history, 2017 as well. French fashion house Givenchy appointed its first female designer, Englishwoman Claire Waite-Keller. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce that word. White? But hey, it took them that long, to put a female into something involving fashion? What? Come on, man. Oh, great, now I sound like Brandon. Oh, God, speaking of awful people. 2019, climate change strikes held by school children took place around the world, inspired by Swedish teenager Greta Thunberg. You garbage. Yeah. And then, this time last year, 2022, Hong Kong admitted its worst Kung flu outbreak, recorded over 400 deaths in a few months, largely due to low vaccination as Omicron hit, forcing it to abandon its zero-COVID policy. Yeah, propaganda, lie. So, somewhere down the line, I know, my stance is going to be the right stance on history. All of this crap is going to be, known to be all lies, as everybody already knows. So, anyway, before we move on to Burst and Death's audience, were there any articles that grabbed your attention more than most? Anything you wish we'd elaborated more about? Anything, between the highlighted section that you saw that I didn't? Start a dialogue in the comments section. We will interact. Anyway, let's move on up into Burst. We got St. Nicholas in 270. He was a Greek bishop who became the model for Santa Claus, born in St. Patara, Asia Minor. Of course, St. Nicholas. All right. Good old Santa Claus. So happy birthday. You magnificent ninja, breaks into the house through the chimney and leaves a present. Or if you're bad, he leaves coal in the stocking, which, for a while, while I was smoking hookah, I actually asked for coal, because I need it. So, anyway, we got Andrew Jackson, 1767, was a U.S. general and the 7th U.S. president for the Democrats in 1829 through 37, born in Wax Halls in the border area between North and South Carolina. Wow. Andrew Jackson. What a nutter, Got William Lamb, 2nd Viscount Melbourne, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom for the Whig Party, 1834 and 1835 through 41, born in London. Okay. We also have John Snow, 1813, Winter is Coming, English epidemiologist who studied cholera and was considered the father of modern epidemiology, born in York, England. Ooh, thank you for your contributions. We all got to know a bit more about our skins, We also have Reza Shah Pahlavi, 1878, the Shah of Iran from 1925 through 41, born in Alshesht Savadku, Mazandaran, Persia. All right, and that is the blondest mustache I've ever seen. That is more blonde than Tyler Zed. Wow. We also have Lycan Hopkins, 1912, a U.S. blues musician, ball of twine, born in Centerville, Texas. All right. And looks like he wears his sunglasses at night, you know? So, I didn't know they even had sunglasses back then. I don't know. Well, when was this photo taken anyway? So, anyway, moving on up, we got Philippe de Broca, 1933, was a French film director, Les Bassus, born in Paris, France. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, RBG, a U.S. jurist and Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the U.S. from 1993 to 2020, born in Brooklyn, New York, was born on this date in 1933. So, but yeah, did die 3 years ago. So, rest in peace. Is it just me, or does it look like she has lime gumdrops for earrings? I don't know. Maybe I'm just too much of a stoner. Got Judd Hirsch, 88 today, was born in 1935, a U.S. Emmy and Tony Award-winning stage and screen actor. Taxi, he was Alex. I'm Not Rappaport, Dear John, and Ordinary People, born in the Bronx, New York. You know, where all the tough guys are. Hey, I'm in the Bronx, yo, hit myself in the face with a 2x4. Gonna move on up into, give me a birth here. Here we go, 1975, Eva Longoria, she's 48 today. She's a U.S. actress, Gabrielle Solis in Desperate Housewives, born in Corpus Christi, Texas. We got William James Adams Jr., a.k.a. Will I Am, which is just William with extra periods in it. Born on this date in 1975, he's 48 today. U.S. singer-songwriter, rapper, musician, Black Eyed Peas, I Got a Feeling. Born in East Los Angeles, California. East L.A. All right. Don't hear about that too often. Let's have Paul Pogba, 30 today. He was born on this date in 1993. He is a French football player for Manchester United and the French national team. Born in Lagny-sur-Marne, France. All right. Let's jump on up into death, starting us off in 44 BC. We have, once again, Julius Caesar. Was a Roman military and political figure, stabbed to death at the age of 55. Carl! We also have Davison Black, 1934, Canadian paleoanthropologist and doctor of anatomy who identified Peking Man, died while working alone during the night in Beijing, China at 49. Something tells me he was murdered by some people who hate outsiders. So, anyway, going to move on up to Dmitry Polyakov, 1988, was a Soviet major general and spy for the CIA, executed at 66. So it sounds like he was, yeah, well, that's all it says. That's his only article. Okay. Yeah, he was actually sold out by Soviet spies, Aldrich Ames and Robert Hansen, and executed. All right. We also have Tom Harmon, 1990, a U.S. College Football Hall of Fame halfback, Heisman Trophy 1940 for the Michigan and L.A. Rams. As well as a broadcaster for CBS from 1950 through 62, died of a heart attack at the age of 70. Florence Chadwick, 1995, a U.S. swimmer who was the first woman to swim the English Channel in both directions, died of leukemia at 76. So I wonder if she went all the way across and then came back, or if she just went and then later came back, or what. And I really hope she didn't get leukemia because of the frigid waters of the English Channel, but that's awesome. She did that. Swam, that is. Something I can't do. Benjamin Spock, 1998, a U.S. pediatrician and writer, Common Sense Book of Baby Care, died at 94. Yeah, Common Sense, Book of Baby Care. If you can't take care of it, don't do the deed. Close your legs. It costs 0 cents. It costs $0. Bowie Kuhn, 2007, was a U.S. Baseball Hall of Fame executive, MLB commissioner from 1969 through 84. Died of pneumonia at 80. Another pneumonia. I've had pneumonia. It's not fun. No. And then we got, I'll just take this one. David Stevenson, this date last year, 2022. English rugby leader league outside back, 10 caps, Great Britain. Wigan RLFC, Salford RLFC, died at 63. But this one, actually, I think this is a better one. Well, there's no better, but 2022, Eugene Parker, a U.S. solar astrophysicist, Parker Space Probe, named after him, died at 94. Dang. Well, this guy did more, advancements for society, than this other guy. But hey, whatever, everybody plays their part. But anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, you can check the underbar of the description for any links you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. Please check out our Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey and all that stuff. Actually, the Odyssey link isn't here because it costs money to upload over there. Anyway, for all of you and all of us, I am A.O. Xander, and for your dose of Past Events Daily, we stream every day at 10 in the morning Pacific Time, which is 11 Mountain, 12 Central, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Anywhere else, you can go look it up yourself. For all of you and all of us, I am A.O. Xander, and you are you until you catch us tomorrow. Don't forget to look right and left at every intersection and rate 5 thumbs and subscribe. Toodles!